Hey everybody, Titan here. Today I want to talk about a very broad general overview of the VTuber plugin for Eliza. I want to talk about kind of a really high level how it works and some revenue models and revenue generation that it could provide to the Livepeer network. So I want to quickly start off with how it works and then we're going to jump into it. Now this is all conceptual. These are all theories. It's going to change over time. But I wanted to give the community an idea over what the agent SPE is building and some of the vision around kind of where we're headed. Now, like I said, there's a lot to build out. Things can change, but this is the current state of where things are. I might have some things wrong, but I wanted to quickly go through. So we have a 3-step process to how this is going to work with the agent and how this incorporates Livepeer. So there's this first step of the agent. If you've built an agent before with Eliza, you have a character file and you can provide assets to this agent. So the first step for a developer that wants to use the VTuber plugin with Livepeer is going to be uploading a character image with their Eliza agent. Okay, so what would a character image look like? Here's an example of a World of Warcraft orc. This is just a still image of what you would upload as your character. So the developer would then upload the image into their Eliza program and then enable the VTuber, plugin kind of thing. So that's the only thing they would have to do. Now what happens is a couple more steps. So the way this works is the VTuber is a live streaming protocol for agents. So an agent can autonomously go live on Twitch or X, and it will interact and talk with people on the internet, all autonomously in the background, well, through a live stream. So how does this work? So the way it works is we generate transition videos, okay? So what is a transition video? A transition video is a clip, so 1 to 3 seconds long, of the character doing an action. So let's take, for an example, a wave. You will wave or move your hand from left to right, or maybe you'll shrug, or maybe you'll clap, right? So these are all transitions, okay? And what we do is we generate 30 frame per second transitions, and we generate, say, about 1,000 of them, all doing different tasks, okay? And what you get is 1,000 transitions of this character that you've uploaded. And so what that might look like here, just as an example, these are GIFs of this orc specifically doing these type of transitions. So here he's dancing, here he's clapping, here he's cheering, here he's pointing, right? Making chicken gestures, right? So you have 1,000 of these gestures that this character is going to be doing, and they are put into locally stored or maybe stored wherever. And then so we've generated, so we created the character, the developer uploaded it, we've generated all the transitions, and now what happens is the live stream happens. So the live stream, when the agent goes live on X or Twitch, it will use an LLM every 1 to 3 seconds to prompt which transition to play. Okay, and so you have this seamless video of this orc standing there, being idle, cheering, interacting with the live stream, and it's the LLM prompt every 3 seconds that prompts which transition to display. And so you have this live feed of video that is using pre-recorded transitions, and the LLM is just regularly allowing the interaction. Now, you can obviously have 100 rendered videos, 1,000, 10,000. This totally scales, so you can have more uniqueness or less uniqueness. Okay, so that is kind of how the VTuber plugin works. And so now I want to quickly talk about the economics of how this affects Livepeer. So, and by the way, there's other concepts around real-time generative video, and there's more topics we can go down. But right now, this seems to be the pipeline that makes the most sense. You end up with high quality video, and it becomes real time, and it doesn't create a lot of compute at the time of live streaming. So how does this look for revenue for the Livepeer network? Well, the way this would work is the actual live streaming of the agent itself is relatively low cost. So obviously you have the cost of transcoding and content delivery and that pipeline of the actual live stream. But the generative part of the live stream is literally reusing assets and an LLM prompt every 1 to 3 seconds. That is very inexpensive, especially because you can use pretty quick, low size models, like maybe an 8 billion LLM, where 1 to 3 second LLM requests are not that much revenue for anyone. It's not much revenue for Livepeer. It's not much revenue for OpenAI or any of these protocols. It's not that much prompting, but it's very inexpensive. And so if VTubers want to go live, agents want to go live, it's relatively inexpensive for the generative part of the video. So that's really interesting. So, I don't think the live video is actually a big revenue generator for Livepeer per se. But what's interesting is around this generate transitions piece. So what's happening here is you have this image and you need to create 30 frames per second, and you need to generate 1 second transitions, and you maybe need to generate 1,000 of them. And so what we have here is 90,000 frames that need to be generated. For instance, in this case, it would be 1,000 times 1 second times 30 seconds. Yeah, so it's I have it listed out here. So I actually created a bit of a calculator on what it would cost to generate the initial video transitions. So bear with me. This is just very. I wonder if I can zoom in here. Yeah. So I've created just a couple mock-ups of how much this would generate per character building, right? So you initialize the character. You need to outlay a ton of inference to get the initial video assets. Once that's live, it's very inexpensive to run. So what is the cost of generating one of these assets or one of these avatars or agents? So if you did full HD, 1080p at pixels, or about 2 million pixels per frame, 30 frames per second, 1 second transitions, they can range, but we'll just stick with one. Let's say you wanted 1,000 transitions. This could be a lot. I think this would be quite robust. 1,000 transitions, I think would be pretty good. We have our weight per pixel set at around 4 cents per image, and then the calculation here. So, for instance, if you were to build one of these agents just at 4 cents per image, you're looking at about $1,200 in revenue for the initial character creation for an HD, highly, a very robust transition agent. Okay. Now, if you lowered it down, let's go to 720p, so much less pixels, medium transitions, so we're only going to do 500 transitions. It drops down to $267. And then lastly, you have the 480p. We're going to go real cheap. So 24 frames per second, we're going to lower the frames per second, and we're only going to do 100 transitions, right? So you're looking at $14 of inference. And then there's this quality scale, which is minutes of total transitions. So 16 minutes of transitions gives you less repetitiveness, whereas 1.6 minutes of transitions, you're probably going to get the same, the same cheer from the avatar, or the same dance. You're not going to get a different variety of transitions, but it's relatively inexpensive. Okay, so that's kind of the workflow of how the VTuber plugin would work. What are the implications for inference? Well, this is basically a one-time purchase. You get the amount you pay is relative to the quality you get, and then usage after it is very, very inexpensive. So what does that mean for income? Well, it means that you can get started very cheap and inexpensive. You can probably create, a very simple character that only has 10 transitions for $1. and you can try it out for really inexpensive. And then as you like what you see, you can start increasing. You can go back. You can just delete what you have so far, or you can just continue adding on more transitions. And what it does, it allows you to do a one-time payment of your character. And so if you like your character, or in a year you want to upgrade your character to the latest image model, you could regenerate your whole character. You can do a one-time payment. If you want to add a top hat to your character when it's, in all of its frames, we can do image-to-image inference, and we can add the top hat for, a fee. And so what you have is this static asset that costs money to generate and upgrade. But again, it's a very inexpensive thing to actually stream live. And so what this reminds me of, I mean, you can come to your own conclusions, but what this reminds me of is when these freemium games, the largest game industry in the world is freemium games, where you pay to play, right? You have an avatar, the game is absolutely free, but if you want cool glasses or hat or cape, you're paying microtransaction. You're paying $3 to $5, or you're paying some amount to upgrade or have status. And so what this could be is agents get to upgrade. Agents get to go from, hey, I only have 100 transitions. I'm really getting some traction here. Let's up it to 1,000 transitions. Let's up it to 10,000 transitions. Let's modify our agent. Let's add features to our agent. Let's upgrade to HD. Let's change our model from ByteDance to FluxDev and add let's take the latest model that's available. And Livepeer is well suited for this, because if you are to generate 16 minutes of live video on a consumer grade GPU at home, say you have your own 4090, it would take something like 48 hours of generating. I think it was 48 hours we came out with, maybe even more, 48 days. I can't remember the exact. It was 5 seconds for generating one frame using ByteDance. So 5 seconds times the amount of frames. Again, I'm not going to do the calculation here, but it's a very long time to be running on your own machine. Whereas the Livepeer network can have 100 orchestrators with 5 consumer-grade GPUs at home, or in their pool, or however we do it, and you can send out 1,000 requests and get 1,000 responses in 5 seconds, for instance. And so you have this economy of scale, which is people will want to use a service provider that can give them back the results much quicker and get their agent live and ready to go. So this is kind of, again, new. These are just concepts around revenue models. If we can get, 1,000 agents that want to build a medium level, agent, 1,000, we could look at, so $267,000 in revenue one time into the network. And as you get more agents or less agents, or as agents want to upgrade, or as if we can add more features, we have this unique ability to keep modifying these characters, all while basically allowing developers to pay the one-time fee and not having to continue with exorbitant fees. So that is kind of a really high-level preliminary kind of macro how the agent would work and how the revenue model would be generated around this VTuber plugin for Eliza. I hope that kind of helps. There'll be lots of updates coming out. These are still very conceptual, but I wanted to share that so that people have an idea of kind of the things we're building at the Agent SPE. We'll keep people updated. I might make more videos like this. If you like it, please let me know. And I'll end it there. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.